Hello again, Steve here with a few thoughts on a note I made a couple days ago, which is called investment in a belief system. I think it's an interesting topic to discuss and to get a little bit of a grapple on because, well, it's no surprise that very often we, as human beings, have the tendency to get caught up in our belief systems as though they are true. We haven't actually run them through any analysis. They're sort of like cultured within us, right? And therefore we think that we don't have as much to do about our world as we actually do. This has come to light more and more with news of all these migrants who are being chased out of Syria, I guess, because of wars, and moving to Europe, primarily to Germany. But this isn't new. This has been going on for a long time, even through what we call immigration. People moving to different lands and so on. I get the sense, just because I've lived in areas that have a lot of different types of ethnicities, and of course they come from different languages, different cultures, and so on. But there's certain groups that tend to cling to each other, and they hang on to those old invested belief systems in their culture, which is odd to me in a way from a very rational perspective, because they've come to a different land, I'm guessing, for a better life, right? They're trying to flee, they're trying to get a better place for their kids, they're trying to take opportunities that they maybe don't have. And I don't know if people really take the time to wonder why it is it that the place they're going to is perceived to be better than the place they're leaving. I don't know if that's the case. I've heard tell that some people think, oh, those people in that country got more money. They have more money, and therefore they got a better lifestyle than we do. But does the question come up though, why do they have more money? Does that come up? Is there a correlation between people's belief systems and how they actually live their lives? I would guess there is. But what I've noticed is very often when people move to a new area, they're reluctant to then inquire about the behaviors of the people who live there and try to emulate the way they live there. Like throw away the old clothing, shave the beards, or whatever, treat women as equal in potential. What else is there? There's numerous different things. Throw the religion out for what it is superstition. I mean, get rid of a lot of the things, because where you're going doesn't have that. But you want to have the lifestyle, right? We want to have the lifestyle of where we're going. But we want to carry our lifestyle with us. It doesn't seem to make any sense. It waters everything down. And yes, there is an effect, because there's, especially with the welfare system, there's lots of inputs of welfare programs and so on for people who arrive. And maybe that creates a dependency and allows them to stay in that stagnant mush of why it is their place is a mess very often, although not always. It's not always because of that. But for the most part, if you think about it, if you have a civilization that behaves in a certain way and their lifestyle is a certain way, if they were to change the way they do things and the way they think, then the greater society would be different. And that's what the difference is a lot of times between one area of the world and a different area of the world, is the way people think in those areas. Just some thoughts. Investment in our belief systems. I think that's why we're reluctant to let them go, is because we're invested in them. Invested means vested. Like we're garbed in them, in the name, in the religion, and all that sort of thing. Osho was one time talking about how we wear this cloak, or this certificate effect, where the man, which was original, gets cloaked in all this other stuff. So for a while, the man is carrying this cloak around, carrying it, and then later on, the cloak is carrying the man. So the whole cultural identity and everything becomes that man or woman. And it doesn't matter if you move them to a different place. They still have their prejudices and their behaviors and their ways that created partly, in part, the situation back home. So I think it's a good reminder for all of us, because surely we're all carrying our investments in our belief systems. And if we're able to be open to ideas, success ideas even, of other people, then we can be willing to take off those garbs and expose our truer self to take them on. I saw a bumper sticker the other day, which was interesting. How did it go now? I forget what it was, but it was along that line. If I remember it, I'll share it in another video. Hope this is helpful along the lines of just some thoughts on our tendency to be invested in our belief systems, and how I think that can really, it has its positive things, of course, but if we're just rigidly stuck in a certain way of behaving, and we're closed-minded, in other words, I don't know how we can pick up the positive experiences and examples that the people have. So I would encourage myself, therefore, to be as open as possible and not to be so invested in my past belief systems. Hope this is helpful. Steve here again. Talk again soon. Goodbye for now.